Hello, welcome back. Welcome to a very early start here in Thornton Farm. We are, as you can see, we're moving the combine this morning. We have another block of spring barley left to do, which is actually on a different plot of land we have a little bit further up the coast. So we decided to make a bit of an early start. We'll shift the combine while the roads are quiet. It's going to give us enough time to get over there. The journey's about half an hour, 40 minutes I would say, so it's going to take a little bit of time, but we're going to make our way up there and then have a little bit of service on the combine whilst we wait for the dew to clear, and we'll make a start probably mid to late morning. So you're in for a little bit of the ride now until the road gets a little bit busier. We're probably going to have to put you down, and then we'll pick it back up later on and see how we're looking. But yeah, so we're going to go over into it's probably about 15 acres of spring barley to take down, and after that we've just got one block of beans left on the farm, and we're looking pretty good for harvest 17 so far. Watch these trees. I really need to get in and clear out these trees at some point. There we go. So far we've managed to get a very patchy harvest, if truth be told. The weather has played a big part in disrupting our performance and our progression, but we're getting there. We're nearly there now. I'm satisfied with how things are coming along, and I'll be very happy if we can get this block of barley done today and finished. We won't be taking any tractors or trailers to lead from. I've arranged for a local haulier to drop off a trailer for us up there. It's a 40-ton bulk trailer, so we should fit everything into there without any hesitation. And we won't have to rely on anything else, and once it's done we can shoot the trailer up and then come over and pick it straight up. So that's kind of the easiest way for us to go. Looking good behind me. This bridge always gets a little bit narrow, especially when there's a car coming. Get over there. There we go. We are looking to take on a little bit more land over to the destination where we're going up the coast here. There's another farmer who is looking to close down his practice, so there's about another 30 acres of land that I'm in negotiations with. It is currently stripped bare. He's just taking his harvest off of there. So if we can get that sorted out, we'll get some cover crop put into there very soon as part of our direct drill and cover crop fallow practices. Before we do that though, we're probably going to have to look at trying to implement a new seeding methodology, because I would like to update some of my seed drills this season if I can, but it might be a bit close. We'll have to have a look see. Our trials we've done last season for our winter wheat have gone very well, so I'll be very interested in continuing that. Ooh, this is tight. There's a car right behind me. So we go left here. Just swing out, give ourselves a nice amount of room. There we go. Still got a header trailer. Watch out for the van. Perfect. Okay, so as I mentioned guys, I'm just going to let you go for now. It's a bit of a trek, but we will, I'll plug you back in, switch you on when we're close to the action, so we'll see you in a little bit. Well, welcome back there guys. As you can see, we're kind of making some steady progress along here. We're only about another 10 minutes away. I'm just going to get across this dual carriageway while it's nice and quiet, and then we're onto the back roads, and we're not too far away from our destination. Let's get across before the car comes. There we go. I had a train around there. Lovely stuff. Yeah, as you can see, there's a little bit of mist drawn in. We have got a little bit closer to the coast there, so I'm expecting that to burn off as the morning progresses here. It's taken us a little longer than anticipated. Had to slow down to get through the village there at Thornton, but we're on the way. We will get there a little early, have a cup of coffee, and get the combine serviced a little bit. It needs another round of grease before we fire her up again. So we'll get that done, and then we'll look into just checking the moisture, probably around 10 o'clock, see where we stand. Ideally, I would like to see a moisture under 15% where possible, so it saves us having to pay any further drying costs. The land, any grain that comes off of the field today isn't coming back to our store at Thornton. It's just going straight into our local brewery. This variation of spring barley is actually going to be, if the quality is high enough, it's going to go straight into malting barley, which will be used for beer and ales near you. If the quality drops a little bit, then we'll have to take a bit of a financial hit, and it will be designated for animal feed. So hopefully we can get this in while the proteins are high enough, and we should still be able to make the malting grade here. So we're actually just going to go straight across the road. Ooh, where do you come from? Okay, get around that corner. Motorists. Ooh, it's going to be tight off the back of a bit there. There we go. How's that drone looking? Ooh, ominous. Good thing about this trailer is it does have the rear wheel steer, which does nicely bring that back end around, so we can see that. Lovely job. And we're going to just, unfortunately, take this left turn here, which I still don't know how my haulage contractor got his 40-foot dumper in here, but he did. So all power to him. Ooh. Okay. We're through, I think. Lovely stuff. This is like the reason why we don't have a bigger combine really. We have a few fields that we just couldn't get to with anything bigger than this. I often admire the idea of having a large New Holland CR90, but I would never get it down here. I'd have to lose several fields just to pay for it, I believe, as well. Let's have a look at the drone. It's tight. So yeah, here's our field on the left hand side here. It's a nice little block of barley. It got established in the spring quite well. We had a few dry weeks where we could get it in. There was still enough moisture in the ground for the germination. I was quite worried about it later on. We had that very, very hot, dry, late spring, early summer, which I thought could have really dented the progress. But it got a little bit of rain when it needed to, and it's come away looking very healthy there. Actually, very happy with it so far. It did rain here very recently, so the ground's still a little bit sticky. We had a nice dry breezy day yesterday though, so the crop should have taken a nice day to dry out there, but we'll have to wait and see how the ground conditions are as we get around the field there. But let's just go and have a look at what we've got. Okay. So overall the crops are looking pretty good. We haven't got any flat patches. The rain we had the other day didn't really bend any of it over or push any to the floor, which is quite good. All the heads look very clean. There's no speckles on there or anything that should be worried about. So we're looking very healthy. So yeah, what I might do at this stage is just knock the combine off, try and get it into the field there. Perhaps I think will be the easiest option. Either way we try and do this, we're going to lose a little bit of crop damage unfortunately, but we'll see how we can squeeze her in. That's just in there. Perfect. We'll get around the escape post on this side. That's the pin out of the drawbar. Let's go and have a look just to make sure that's all done. Oh, we're kind of half in the field there. Excellent. Let's get this hooked up. We'll hook the header onto the combine here, then we'll just knock it off and I'll do a little bit of servicing and get everything greased up, ready to go. I had some of the lifters on the top of the drawbar still because of the last lot of wheat I was in was bent over a little bit, so I'm going to have to take some of those off the front before we go too much farther, and then just clear out some of the trash from inside the header. But other than that, shouldn't take too long to get this up and working. Easy does it. There we go. Alright, let's see if we can get it off the header trailer here. Not parked on the best of angles, but we'll try and give it a go. Come on. Oh! That was tight. Alright then, so I'll leave you here guys temporarily and I'll come back and see how we're looking as we make our first trip round. Well, welcome back guys and girls. It is just gone 11 AM in the morning. Finished up greasing everything up, servicing the combine down, cleaning the air filters up about an hour ago, but it wasn't quite fit enough. Still hovering over kind of 15%, 16% at the time, so we left it another hour, had a bit of a rest, did a cup of coffee, and then checked it about 10 minutes ago, and we came in hovering around 15%, just under mark, 14.9, which is good enough for me. As we continue to progress into this field, I've no doubt it's going to dry up a little bit more. There's a nice breeze, good sunshine out there, so I'm more than happy with that today. As you can see, we're just making our first time around the field here. It's a nice block of concerto barley. It's looking nice and thick. The combine's taking it in well there. It's a nice even feed across the header. We're going to be chopping the straw today. We're just going to disc that straight back into the ground. And when we put that cover crop on, that can help provide a little bit more nutrients into the soil as it slowly rots in. Overall, I'm very happy with how this is looking at the moment. The ground isn't too wet as we travel across it. Obviously we're not in a tractor machine here, so it tends to be a little bit more pressure on the ground over the wheels, but we're looking okay for now. I'm a little bit concerned about that corner over there. It tends to be a little bit wetter in that corner, but we'll sure see how it looks as we get around there. I do need to be a little bit careful with how I'm going to tackle this field, because like I say, we have no tractors and trailers, so I can't. If I get full halfway around, I'm going to be pretty stuck there and have to travel all the way back. So what I'm likely going to do is just take this strip off the end here, and then probably turn around and just head straight back up again, just to take the edge off of this field. And I can empty out there, and then guarantee that I can make it around the rest of the way. I didn't fancy cultivating into that corner there with some of the machines I have. It just gets a bit too tight. As you can see, we do have a border all the way around here. That, like most of our fields on our farm here, we are operating under countryside stewardship. So we do leave at least a 3-meter margin all the way around there to provide access to various different wildlife. We have a lot of birds coming in to feed in here. A lot of wildlife uses a bit of shelter belt as well. So it's important to me that we continue to do this and look after the various species on our farmland. Helps to bring in the environmental diversity as well, which is always of benefit to our pollination. Okay. So we'll take this corner off here. I did bring my drone along with me today, so we will get that up into the air once I take this first round out. We'll have a look, see how it's looking. So I'm just not going to risk it. Maybe go back the other way. There we go. Alright, back we go. So this field, like I say, is spring barley. It was previously winter wheat last season. It was fallowed over the winter, beg your pardon. Put a crop of stubble turnips into this just to allow for a nitrogen fixation, but also we brought some sheep onto here from the local farm just to graze the stubble turnips down. Works well in for both parties really. It allows the sheep to get some additional nutrients and proteins into their diet, and it works well for us because it takes off the cover crop but also adds in some fertilizer from the sheep manure as well, so works very well. This was then, like I say, left and drilled in the early March. We got this away. Had a little bit of a dry period, but then it's managed to come away very well with that late spring, early summer rain we had really. We will be looking to get this disc down when we finish here, and then we're probably going to put this into winter barley, I think, for next year. Like I say, I am looking into trying some direct drilling and cover crop tests. From what I've done so far with the winter wheat, it's worked very well, so I'd like to explore and increase our opportunities into some of our barley and into eventually some of our canola. We'll see how that fares up. It is just the current balance of investment into the technology to do so, the benefits by doing that investment. Oh, there's a bit of a dip here. Let's raise that up quickly. There we go. A little drain fell through there. That's why we've got a little bit of dip in the field. If we can keep this empty, this field stripped long enough, I might just have an excavator to come in and have a look at that, see what we can ascertain is the fault. Okay, this is a very high yielding crop. If you look at my yield monitor at the moment, I'm currently coming in about 86% full in the grain tank. So we're going to be in for a busy old day, and I hope we can squeeze it all into the bulker here. Like I said, this is from a local haulage contractor. It's just a benefit to me to be able to drop this here, not have to worry about bringing any of the lads from the farm back off onto cultivation. I can leave those guys there. We've got some straw on the ground still we need to bale up, so they're going to be busy working on that over the next few days, and I can just have a full 40-ton bulker here waiting for me to go. Okay. Pull off of here. Lovely stuff. Okay. I'm just going to head over and take the first load in. Let's get the drone out quickly for it. Alright then, so we're going to just spin the combine around. We all go back in before I crack that off a tree. That's the last thing I want to do as I get close to the end of harvest. And then we'll head on over. We'll go around the other way now. We've got enough to be able to get all the way around the field here. So we'll get ourselves around, take a few more headlands off, and then we should be nice and easy and able to get up and down. Get this field wrapped up very quickly. But that field you can just see over the railway tracks there is one of the land parcels I'm actually looking to acquire off him, and then the one on the other side of that again will be the second one. So it's about 30 acres there between the two, and it'll be a nice little block of land if I get those three and this one all together. Just a shame there's a great big train line in the middle and I can't get across from field to field with the combine. I'll go back onto the road to get over to there. After this is our last main crop to do. After this we've got one block of about a 40 acre block of soybeans to harvest. It's not going to be ready quite yet. We're going to need to leave that for about a week or two, so there's no urgency to bring the combine back. So I don't really feel the need to risk it. We can just lock it up and leave it out of sight here. So we'll probably end up doing that, and I need to get back to the farm and continue with bringing in some of that straw up before it gets too wet once we've got it all baled there. And then there's a little bit of animal work we need to do as well in the not too distant future with the cows, so we'll have to get those guys in and tested as part of the TV test program. I like playing with my drone here. We need to concentrate. Back we go. So we'll just take a little bit of a straight line off of here now. We don't want to take a full pass because we might not make it all the way up, but we will just square off this edge a bit. And so it's going to be a little bit easier for us when we do come to start taking the runs off of the field here. Plenty of dust coming out the back, which is always a nice sight for a farmer at this time of year. Let's not hit my own header trailer, that wouldn't be very good. Okay, let's go and just empty out. So yeah, we're getting about nearly 7.5 ton, I would say, per headland at the moment, which is, we'll have to figure out how large an acreage that is, but I'm pretty happy with that so far. Oh, that's that the trailer. Good. Let's not get too close to the trailer, that wouldn't be good. I always like to start filling my trailers at the back there just to make sure the weight's over the wheels. Fortunately it's on a little bit of hard ground there, so we're not going to get any issues with trailers getting stuck in the soft ground. God knows I've had that many times before, and when you've got a 40-ton trailer full, it's not fun trying to move that one. Alright, off we go. So it's a frustratingly odd-shaped field, this one, in terms of trying to get the square line and angle of attack. So what we'll probably end up doing is just kind of squaring the field off as best we can, so we can get a nice long run going east-west, really. It's my preferred route to take it anyway, just so it makes it a little bit more efficient for the combine here. So I hope everyone out there watching this is doing well. If you are stuck in your own harvest, I hope the gods are being kind to you and you're nearly through there. End of August here, I hope you're all stuck well into your wheat and nearly finished your wheat. Let me know how it is coming along. I'd like to get a feel for who's watching, where people are watching, and what you're stuck into at the moment. I know it hasn't been a great harvest all around. Some areas of the country getting a lot more rain than others. So if you are in one of those unfortunate areas, you have my sympathies. Let me know how you're finding these videos as well. If there's anything else in my kind of daily activities you want to tag along with, just let me know, and I'll be happy to share those. I am for sure getting around a little bit more and remembering to bring my camera with me, so you will see me in a few more places, and you will see my me documenting my travels a little bit and my journey around the day-to-day farm life. So yeah, let me know what you guys would like to see. Alright, onwards we go. So what I'm gonna do is just square this edge off here a little bit, and then we'll take this little cut off. That sinkhole again, need to get that looked into. We'll just be around that hole. I think now is probably a good time. Now we're going to start doing the runs here to throw the drone up, and we'll I might make a little bit of time lapse for you guys. Well, welcome back. Hopefully I've made something good of that time lapse there. As you can see, we are now into the final little runs of the field here, into the ends. Overall, very impressed with how the yields come off actually. It's been drying up nicely. I took a little spot check earlier on and we were coming down to just above 14, so it's dropped about 0.5%, if not a little bit more, which is great news. It's going through the combine nice and quickly as well at the moment, which is also fantastic. It means we've been able to hit through this crop. And yeah, it's also going to all fit into the bulker, which is a relief. At one point I thought I might have to go and give one of the neighbour farmers around here a call, see if I could lend a tractor and trailer to get it all squeezed in, but we've managed, which is good news. So we're just going to finish these ends off here. Shouldn't take too much longer, another couple of minutes or so, and then we'll be good to wrap this up. We'll blow the combine down again, as I always do when I finish, before I transfer from field to field. And then yeah, we'll probably just get this set up for the soybeans now actually, whilst I've got a bit of time to kill. I'm not going to move it today. I'm going to wait until it's nice and quiet and come down and get it later on in the week before we need it. I'm just going to arrange for a lift to come and pick me up from here, but we'll get everything scheduled for here. I'm going to put the lifters back on the front of the combine, just so it'll allow us to. The beans are a bit flatter this time of year, so it's going to require a bit of a pickup from the ground. So we'll put the lifters on the front of the combine just to help with that on the header. And then yeah, there's a few little drums I need to tighten up. There's a bit of a rattle coming from one of the belts at the back there, so we'll have a quick look at that and tighten that up as well. But overall we're doing alright for today. Very pleased with the progress. I've given the haulage contractor a call, so they'll be in to pick up the bulker probably within the next couple of hours as well, so that's good news. That'll get sheeted up and cleared away before it gets any damp on it. So yeah, happy days. All is going very well. I have had a call from one of the guys back at the yard though that we're having a little bit of issues with the old baler. The square baler's throwing up a few issues with the nutters on there, so we can't quite get the last of the wheat straw baled up as I'd hoped today. And to be honest, I'm dreading going back trying to fix that, because as many of you will probably know, nutters on balers are things of witchcraft and wizardry. I have no idea how they fully work, but they just seem to. And when they don't want to work, they're a right pain. So we'll go and I might have to call out a fitter from the dealers to come and have a look at that one, just to save me losing my temper with it. But we'll see when we get home what state it's in. It might be something quite simple. And here we are, almost the last of Harvest 17 for us, which is always quite a nice relief to see it come in. And here we go. Knock that header off. Oh, we'll get this little straggler. This was missed somewhere. Poor driving by myself. There we go. So where we're going to be putting the lifters, right along the front of the cutter bar there, and the header is where the lifters will go, and they just allow, when the crop's been fed into the table, just to be lifted off the floor a bit to allow for a clean cut, and any of the heads of the beans that have dropped down won't be cut and left on the ground, so we can try and save as much of the crop as possible. And that is the last of it, so it's all gone in there, which is great news. Okay. And just knock the combine off, and now this is good to go. Still looking nice and clean, except from the wheels. Alright then, so we're going to leave it here. I'm going to go and get myself a bit grubby and dirty and clean this beast down. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. Be sure to comment, rate, and subscribe. And if you want to see anything else, just let me know what you want to see and we'll put it up there in due time. Until next time, folks, happy farming.